Welcome back to our channel, Exposing the Great Australian Government. All States Australia Acts Request Act 1985 Constitution. The main objective we need to understand is the fact that political parties are not within our primary law, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted. We are a constitutional monarchy. This gives us every right known to man. All States Australia Acts Request Act 1985 Constitution. Treason from within. I can explain this to you. I can't comprehend it for you. When we wake up, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted. Part 2. The Senate. 7. The Senate. The Senate shall be composed of senators for each state, directly chosen by the people of the state, voting until the Parliament otherwise provides as one electorate, not by political parties.
This part here where it says provides as one electorate, all senators in the 6 states are supposed to be in equal number, so one state doesn't override the other, and by one electorate means the senators all sit there and represent the state. They do not represent political parties, they represent the state, nothing else.
Part 3. The House of Representatives. 24. Constitution of the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members directly chosen by the people of the Commonwealth, and the number of such members shall be, as nearly as practicable, twice the number of the senators, not by political parties.
The House of Representatives these people sit as representing their area, not as political parties. Like when I first got into this issue, I went and seen my local member and explained things to him, and he just turned around and said to me, it's not within our party's interest to help you. So all he was doing was representing a political party. These people are against or don't represent us in any way, shape or form. What we've got to have in our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act is whatever area that person represents, he represents those people, nothing else. So therefore, in that system, we under our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted, we can take that so-called representative out and make sure he represents us and does what we want. And if he doesn't do that, we can kick him out, take him out, tar and feather him, kick him out, do what we want. But he has to represent the people that is within that area.
So we've got Australian Labor Party, which equals political party, which equals treason. Below that we've got Katter's Australian Party, Liberal National Party, the Greens, Animal Justice Party, One Nation, the Great Australia Party, plus many more. These are all political parties, which equals treason. Federal political party corporations have a boardroom called the Senate. They have a meeting place called the House of Representatives. For their corporation they have a clown purportedly called the Governor-General, for their corporate, sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense. All state political party corporations have a clown purportedly called the Governor, for their sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense. These corporations have no crown and constitutional authority. None of the above so-called political parties have any authority over anybody outside their corporations. Political party purported Governor-General and all state political party governors sit in treason.
what you got to remember here also with these political parties, in 1999 we voted them all out and their laws out. So it's just up to us to stand up, because we've already said no to their treasonous system, which is their republic.
Treason from within. Australia Acts Request Act 1985. The Queensland Governor sold his soul to the Queensland political parties by using the Royal Coat of Arms and the Crown enacting manner and form purporting to give the treasonous act Crown authority. What do you gain by selling your soul? An act to enable the constitutional arrangements affecting the Commonwealth and the states to be brought into conformity with the status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation. And
with this system, it's not our system. This is, when they talk about this conformity, they're telling us that this Commonwealth of Australia is not ours, and they're enforcing their definition by using the word status. They're dictating that their Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent federal nation. This is just straight out corporations taking, it's like a political coup at the present time. They're pretending to be representing us when they're not.
So they place their corporation seal and copyrighted to their changed constitutional definitions of our primary law an act to constitute the Commonwealth of Australia, 9th of July 1900, which equals treason. Now on the right hand side you've got the kangaroo and the emu, which is their corporate functionary seal, with the Roman wreath underneath.
That seal also is trademarked. Now, in its proper form, in its original form, it has a royal warrant. It is a public functionary seal for our Commonwealth of Australia. It is, what they've done is just straight out treason. They've changed our seals to their system to make it look like, in this coup that they're enforcing, to take over our whole country.
So the question must be asked, when was the referendum to create the status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense? Now the Oxford Dictionary status, noun, the official classification given to a country. The Oxford Dictionary meaning for conformity, noun, compliance with conventions, rules or law. By using the word status, the political parties have dictated that is the definition of their Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense. Therefore, the state political parties, by joining that system, their definition changed from being an original states shall mean such states as are parts of the Commonwealth at its establishment, to the treasonous political parties sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense. Queensland, under the status of a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense, political parties took ownership of everything. Land is now measured in metres. The status of the Commonwealth of Australia as a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense. Everything is now registered to the Queensland Government. No more Government of Queensland.
People have got to realise that the Queensland Government is the corporation, and like when we had the Government of Queensland, it is the government, the of is belonging to, so you have a government belonging to Queensland. That was our government. This Queensland Government is just a corporation.
So treasonous courts under their political party masters don't recognise a Crown deed of grant held in fee simple and guaranteed by the defender of the faith. Under the treasonous political parties, their Queensland, The people have no rights and are the owners of nothing. Treason from within. 2001. The Parliament of Queensland. Constitution of Queensland 2001 and the Parliament of Queensland Bill 2001. Second reading speech. Circulated by authority of the Premier and the Minister for Trade, the Honourable Peter Beattie. Honourable.
This is the only time that I've ever found where they have actually lawfully circulated, not lawfully, but just circulated the second reading speech, the Hansard of it that went through government, or not government, the Parliament. This is so everybody within the Parliament understands what is happening.
Under our primary law, Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted, together with Queensland's Constitution Act 1867, we don't have a Prime Minister, Premier or an MP. Extracts. The entities it provides for include this Parliament, the Supreme and District Courts of this state, and the system of local government that we know in Queensland. The office holders under this Act include the Governor of Queensland, the Ministers of the Crown, and the Judges of the Supreme and District Courts. This law is of supreme importance.
This whole system here, they are enforcing their corporation system over the people. In 1992, they created their own private parliament in Queensland against our Commonwealth, our Queensland Constitution.
These treasonous political parties' parliament, under their Queensland as a sovereign, independent and federal nation in a geographical sense, own and control the Supreme, District Courts, local governments, their treasonous Governor, Ministers of the Crown, Crown being the executive government, appointing all judges of the Supreme and District Courts.
Also, what you realise here when they're talking about the local governments, every state after the Australia Acts created a local government because they all changed their definition to a sovereign independent federal nation, where the political parties then took ownership of all land in every state under their meters, was their definition for their land. This is, local governments are just an extortion racket for their treasonous political parties.
So, if anything positive is to come from this tragedy, it is that we know that we can no longer afford to take our way of life for granted, that we need to take the time to cherish the great democracy we live in. Our identity as a sovereign state, the democratic ideals on which our state is built, rest on our Constitution. We the people just finished voting to stay as a constitutional monarchy in 1999, and the treasonous political parties are enforcing their treason in 2001. The Constitution of Queensland 2001 does not include a statement of executive power vesting in the sovereign as recommended by Legal, Constitutional and Administrative Review Committee. The government is of the view that Legal, Constitutional and Administrative Review Committees recommended expression of executive power is too narrow and does not adequately reflect the democratic convention that requires the governor to act in accordance with advice from his or her ministers. The government will refer this matter back to Legal, Constitutional Administrative Review Committee for further consideration. The so-called Premier states that there is no Crown authority and their governor doesn't represent our Crown. Their governor sits in treason. You can't have a governor representing our Crown in a democracy.
Political parties are constantly pushing the system of being a democracy, and it's like we said, we are a constitutional monarchy. We have every right known to mankind in that system. Being a democracy, which the political parties are trying to push for, they own and control everything, including the people. We have no rights whatsoever.
Treason from within. The centrepiece of this package will be an annotated constitution, which will provide a plain English explanation of our constitutional arrangements. Those provisions that are said to be referendum entrenched remain untouched in the shells of their current acts. This is a blatant lie, as they remove referendum entrenched section 14.
This section 14 goes back to our 1867 Constitution, where it stipulates, and even when it was brought forward in 1925 to the letters patent again in 1925, that section 14 appoints the judiciary by the governor alone.
Our governor, representing the Crown, appoints in our name and on our behalf all such judges, commissioners, justices of the peace. The government aspires to a constitution that not only reflects 21st modern language of the 21st century, but also reflects public attitudes in the century. We the people just finished voting to stay as a constitutional monarchy in 1999, and the treasonous political parties are enforcing their treason in 2001. I thank the members of the opposition for the supportive and cooperative approach they have taken to the consolidation exercise over the years under both the former leader of the opposition, Mr. Borbidge, and the current leader of the opposition, Mike Horan. When I, Peter Beattie, go down, you all come with me. This is the second reading speech, so all Parliament knows what he is doing. He's creating treason, enforcing treason, removing the Crown, using a governor that doesn't represent the Crown, all these things, but he's making sure that everybody in Parliament is sitting there has listened to what he's done. So if he gets taken down for the treason he's created, the whole Parliament comes with him. I have already offered the Leader of the Opposition a briefing on the bills from officers of my department, and I understand that has been done. I would like to take this opportunity to extend an offer to any member of this House who would like a similar briefing. This legislation will lie on the table for 2 weeks while the Parliament is in recess. I say this to any member of this Parliament who wants a brief on these bills. The door is open. Constitutional reform is never easy. It is complicated and difficult. Therefore, every member should be given appropriate briefings. I offer that today. Therefore, all members are a part of the treason created here today, and you have had every opportunity to have your say. When I, Peter Beattie, go down, you will all come with me. Now on the left is, I believe that's the first make of their seal.
Their corporation seal that they created in 1997. It's a private corporation seal, that's all it is. What you got to realise there is we're not under that seal, and their laws these laws that they're putting in here at this time are copyrighted to them. So we're not between the seal and the copyright. This is just total treason by political parties which are not within any of our original constitutions and our Commonwealth Australia Constitution Act 1901 as proclaimed and gazetted. This is just a private corporation system, and like you can see there on the right, you've got Queensland Parliament, with its corporation seal in the middle. It is not the Parliament of Queensland seal. So this is just total treason.
And it's all been done behind the people's back, but enacted by the whole Parliament.